Okay, we're getting everything started. And I think everything is start or good to go. So we're gonna sit here. See if we can get things done. I don't want to add this over here, but we'll just throw it here for now. All right. So playoffs for the Owners League are starting. And this is just qualifying. So not the race, it's just qualifying. So no need to watch all of it if you don't want to. But yeah, so basically I split up the two split up the field into two qualifying. So the top 25, basically the playoff racers, are in one, and then the rest of the field is in the other. So in the playoff field, everybody, no matter where they finish in the playoff field, will make the race. So the top 25 will make the race, and then the ones that are going to be eliminated will be on the on the other race. So here we go. Actually, let me just update all these titles. All right. Update all, and everything's updated. We are streaming. And I'm just trying to pull up the race just so I can be sure that everything stays open and up, because I know I had a few issues and some of the other races where the stream would go down for a minute or so, and I wouldn't notice. So now I just bring up that, and we are good to go. So let's go ahead and start the race. I'm gonna kill this real quick. That's gonna be fun sound. Need to get some headphones. So we are at Phoenix Raceway. The first race will be the other playoff, so not the playoff race first. The first one, or the race, will be the drivers who did not make the race. So, and then they're just gonna randomly qualify here. So here is the qualifying for just these players are basically trying to make the race of 42. So basically 26 through 42 these guys are racing for. So let's go ahead and get this started so we can get to the playoff race, which is the one that really matters, and the one that I think most people will want to see. And here we go. So it looks like Taylor in the 57 and then Bowers in the 05 are the two that are leading this, or that will be on the pole. But definitely this is Phoenix, and they use multitude of the track, and there can be a ton of movement. So here we go. Here they come getting the green flag. Let's see who can pull off or get into the playoff race, even though they are not for the championship. Remember, if you are in this race currently, you are not eligible for the championship. We'll do that qualifying next. So here it looks like Taylor is going to be winning, or going to be leading. We are going to be doing 32 laps. We'll go ahead and put the standings up, and we'll wait for it to re-register, because right now it says Bowers is leading, but as you can see, he is definitely not leading. And there we go, it finally triggered. And yeah, right now it's Bowers, Taylor, and then 29. which is Torres. So right now these guys are just trying to get into the race this weekend. I did not figure out the math before the race, so I'm not sure how many of the top drivers will be making the race, but right now it looks like Taylor and Bowers are slowly driving away, though it looks like Bowers has decided to go on the inside, putting 2 tires below that yellow line, but of course that yellow line in this race or in this game means almost nothing. So he is still on the inside, Bowers in that 05. And he may have led that lap. It's very close. You see multiple cars jumping down, basically cutting this corner. It looks like Bowers will finally get past Taylor in that 57 car. We will see if some of the other cars in the back, like Torres, Torres actually lost a couple positions. Now Juith in that 52 is right there, and I think Vega, no, it's Willis in that 99. So we take a look at some of the back cars who are really racing to try to get into this race. While they don't really have any chance to win the championship, but they can still win a playoff race, and they can still earn some cash for next season. They definitely need to make some upgrades, as some of these drivers are extremely new, so their cars aren't the greatest. Like 27, I believe that's Custer Clinton. He was one of our newest drivers who has failed a couple of races purely because his team is a late addition. As we do see a 35, that gray car, 35 of McFadden, going extremely high in that corner. It doesn't look like he's having any issues, but he took that corner extremely high, so he could have gotten bumped. And then the other one of the newer cars is Custer in this 00. I think McLaren auto racing team. He is also one of the newer drivers and has missed a few races because he is such a new driver and he has not been qualifying as well as I think he had hoped. So right now these 2 drivers who are in the back are really just racing for try to make the race, the last 2 races, as well as to make some extra cash for their team so they can upgrade. As we take a look at the back, it looks like it's still starting to stretch out in the front. Bowers still leading. So right now, it does look like Bowers and Taylor are going to make the playoff race, but there's still a ton of laps to go. We are at 32. We take a look. It actually looks like most cars have started to stretch out. And Bowers is starting to pull away. We take a look. It looks like last place about 4 seconds back, which is pretty close for this track. As it looks like the best racing currently going on is in this back side of the racetrack, as these drivers just want to get up to a top position. As we take a look at some of these guys, so yeah, I think I just did the quick math real quick, and basically the top 17 drivers will make the playoff. And there's 23, so there's like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers that won't make it. So these back drivers here are trying to get up to that 17th position that 21 right now is holding. I believe that may be Martinez. And right here, yes, Sanders. Now we're gonna use Martinez's teammate, but Sanders right here. So they are trying to get past him right here. Looks like Yates in that 25, and then that 00 of I think of Custer. He is actually starting to move up a little bit, so he could have a chance to make this playoff race. So these playoff races are higher purses, so even if you finish last, you're still going to get a pretty good paycheck. As we take a look at this, Bowers in the lead. Looks like Taylor and Juith in that 52 has finally caught up. And we may see a race for the lead after all, as we are on lap 13 of 32. Because it's such a quick race, I don't believe there is going to be any pit stops. So it is really just a sprint to the finish here in the desert of Arizona. You can see right outside the track, there's almost nothing around here. We take a look again at the back of the pack. As we see the 27 is going 3 wide in the turn, trying to get past the 2 of Kim, another one of the newer drivers, as well as Reeves in that 24. And then we take a look. It's like that 00 of Custer. Looks like he is trying to get to that 17th position, and he got a great run in that corner, as he is just moving up very quickly. We'll see if he's able to keep these cars behind us. Yates is right behind him, and Sanders has definitely shown earlier races that he can definitely move up in the field, as right now Custer is sitting at that cutoff line. So if he's able to hold it here, he would definitely make the playoff race and show his team that he, is definitely a good driver. So we take a look at this pack right here, shooting for a top 10 position. So these guys don't want to race too hard, but definitely want to try to start a little bit higher in the position. And I'm sure if they do make the playoff race, they would want a top finish. As if they do a top finish, they get much better payouts. So maybe you still win a race, even if you are not in the playoffs. You can still make a race win and make a pretty good payday. So if you win a race playoff, whether you're in the playoffs or not, you're going to get a very good payday. As we do see Bowers and Taylor pulling away from each other, as well as the rest of the pack. So each of them looks like they are racing extremely well here. I'm not sure exactly where these two finished in the previous race here at Phoenix, but it looks like they are doing very well, at least against the rest of this field. Go and take a look again. The 27 of Clinton, he is still trying to work his way up as well. He's ahead of Williams and Kim. And then it looks like, Custer in that 00 car, he is moving. He pulled away from Sanders in that 21, as well as Yates. Looks like Yates fell off the pace one of these corners and backed up a little bit, but without any help, Custer caught right up to that 32 of Baxter. And he may be looking to move past her to get a better starting position. Currently, right now, I think he would be starting dead last, which is very common for some of the newer drivers. So we'll see if he's able to get past the 32 of Baxter, or if Baxter is able to pass the 35 of McFadden. And then that'll leave Custer a chance to get past him. So definitely a good showing by Custer right now, showing that he's definitely made to be here in ARCA, as he has not had the greatest showings the last couple of weeks. But that is what it is with newer drivers, especially when they only have a one-car team. As we see Bowers pulling ahead, as well as Taylor. Really just pulling away, as we only have about 10 laps remaining. They shouldn't catch up to any draft or any lapped cars or any cars in the back. As we see, Sanders has finally caught up to Custer, so maybe he and Custer will try to pass somebody as a team, as they are right here with McFadden and Baxter. And of course, it looks like Parker in that 38 is starting to pull away from this pack here, which is actually where all the action probably will be, as this is the cutoff lane the playoffs in that 17th position that currently the 00 has, but Sanders is coming and so is Reeves. So if Custer is not careful, ooh, Custer taps the 35 McFadden. It looks like he was trying to put him in front of Sanders, as he was looked like he was just trying to put somebody in front of Sanders to not pass him. Definitely was an interesting strategy there. It did not work, but well, I guess it worked, as he is still sitting in that 17th position. But he did slow down, and McFadden did pull away. So we'll see if Clinton and the 00 is going to be able to catch up to McFadden again, and what McFadden in that 35 does. Because I don't think McFadden wants the 00 to pass him, as that would put him right on that edge of not making the playoff race. As you can see, these last 4 cars are right here, other than Kim and Williams, who have pretty much dropped off the race. But yeah, it was very interesting. Almost turned McFadden right in front of Sanders, and here comes Reeves trying to get past Sanders to see if he can make a run on the 00 of Clinton, as he's not going to, as we hit lap 26 of 32. So right now it's really trying to make a run now. I mean, there is some, about a car length to car length and a half. Looks like it's up to like 2 car lengths now between the 0 and Sanders. But of course, here comes Reeves. Reeves is going to come and try to make a run on the last couple of laps versus Custer, just try to make the race, because right now those 2 drivers both are not going to make the race. So the longer they stay right next to each other, the further Custer is going to pull away, as there's only about 4 laps remaining. Looks like Reeves has finally jumped to the inside. Yeah, he's jumping back to the inside, so Custer is going to again pull a little away, as Reeves just does not have the speed to get fully past Sanders without some help, and it doesn't look like anybody's going to help him out, as Yates is falling right behind Sanders. That space between the 00 of Custer and that's and either Reeves or Sanders has grown to almost 5 or 6 car lengths, which, you know, we only have 29 laps remaining. So it may not be enough, as we have about 2 laps to go. They are still right beside each other. And again, Custer and that 00, 35 and 31 are all pulling away. Okay, and it looks like Reeves has finally gotten past Sanders, but it looks like it may be just too late. Though if Custer decides to try to get past the 35 McFadden, it could be an issue, though. It does look like Reeves is cutting that distance very fast. And here comes Custer trying to get past the 35 of McFadden. Looks like he got a very good run there. As we are coming along, should be to the white flag. So Custer finally jumps back behind McFadden, and Reeves is right there. He is about 3 car lengths back, heading into the corner. And again, Clinton is trying to get past McFadden at 35 to try to put some sort of spacer between him, but he just can't get there, which is giving some time for Reeves to catch up. As here comes Reeves, it does not look like he made it. Looks like the 00 finally finished. Will finish in 17th position. As we take a look at the official standings, top 17 will make it. So Bowers, Taylor, Rollins, Martin, Juith, Torres, Willis, Haas, Prescott, Gonzalez, Moto, O'Brien, Vega, Parker, Baxter, McFadden, and Custer all will make the first playoff race. And then of course Reeves, Sanders, Clinton, or Reeves, Sanders, Yates, Clinton Williams and Kim have all been or will not qualify. So we're going to save this. And we will go ahead and head over to the playoff. So 25, 32 laps, and here we go. Let's go ahead and fast forward. So it's a Grubb, Mast, Adams, Ward, and Walker Sr. will lead. So it doesn't matter where you finish here, you will make the race. So Grubb is definitely very hot right now as he won the last race.
Drivers,
let us go ahead and get to the race. So no issues in the last race, which is definitely good for the drivers. And everybody looks like they have started, so no restart here as pace car jumps in, and we see what Grubb and Mast can do here at Phoenix. As this is the playoff race for the top 25 start, or the top 25 of the race later on this week. Actually, it'll be tonight, but later on this week, maybe in here, as Grubb just gets a great run. He's pushed by the 23 of Adams. As there is a huge pack forming at fourth on back. So there's, yeah, definitely 4 wide going. A 4 wide is kind of safe sometimes, and is sometimes extremely dangerous heading into corner, I think 1 and 2. Now there is, I think, corner 3 and 4, you can make it through 4 wide without any, or without too many issues, as long as all the drivers are leaving enough space. But heading into 1 and 2, definitely not a good idea to go 4 wide. It is actually a bigger issue when there's 42 drivers than here when there's only 25. But still, you still see some bumping going on as the pack in the front is starting to stretch out, but the pack back here is not. As we went 4 wide, it looks like they're still 4 wide heading into the corners. As it looks like everybody got through that safe 4 wide, as again looks like they're going to go 4 wide again, which is definitely not advisable. 33 it's like 54. The 6th decided to back off a bit, but still, because he backed off, a few drivers had to back off that were right behind him. Again, getting through those corners safely, as we do have a battle for the lead. Looks like Adams and Grubb both battling for the pole position. Adams does have a teammate, but we'll see if the teammate decides to help Adams out or Grubb. Probably there's no issues in the back while we are watching the race for the lead. It looks like Adams looks like he's going to get past Grubb, but Grubb is right behind him. He's definitely always got a very fast car. Mayflower Racing is always the team to beat. As, yeah, looks like Grubb tried to go on the outside, but leaving his inside open for Ward. Ward was not able to get past him. We will see if Mast will help out Ward. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of the back. Looks like they are starting to stretch out a bit, so not as much 3-4 wide racing. Though it does look like Barker trying to get on the inside of Weber, but is not able to get there. So Grubb in that 15 is right behind Adams. It does look like they are going to stay that way for at least a little while. And then everybody else behind them is just trying to find a spot so they can get a decent starting spot for the race later on. So yes, definitely everybody in this heat will make the race later on today. It'll just be where they are going to be starting. We do see a few races going on. As Barker of Mayflower Racing getting stuck in the pack a bit. You know, if they get a lead and they basically get where no cars are, they are very fast cars. But notice that if they are in a pack or cars get in front of them, they tend to not perform as well as they usually do. So if they can start in the lead, they're extremely hard to beat, as when there's air in front of their car, there really is very few teams that can catch up to them. But I've noticed that if they do get behind a couple of cars, it is very hard for them to get past them. As we see Adams hugging that inside line, not letting Grubb there, as Grubb is right behind him. We'll definitely see right now. Ooh, Adams. Yeah, Adams looked like he was right on that line, but Grubb made himself some room, and here he comes trying to get past Adams at 23. I mean, it does not look like he's going to get any help from his teammate, at least not in that corner. It looks like Grubb may have led that lap, as right now Ward really isn't picking who he wants to drive, which isn't going to look good for a teammate. So Adams may be a little difficult. Ward has decided he's just going to try to make the pole himself. As they head into the corner, it is still Adams and Ward right next to each other. Definitely not working together as they probably should. We're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the back or the racing going on in the back. Again, every car in this heat will make the race, as they are all in the playoffs. And then we will have some drivers be eliminated after the race today, as we do see the top 4 drivers just pulling away from the rest of the pack. Though it does look like Jay King is starting to catch up because of this battle between 2 of Pitch Racing's drivers, trying to see who's going to start second and who's going to start third. I know if they are not careful, Mass is going to catch up to them very quickly, as well as Jay King and Emerson. As we do see Grubb starting to pull away a little bit. We'll see if they are able to catch up because they are not next to each other anymore. But we are on lap 13 of 32, so still a long way to go for this playoff qualifying race. You see the top 4 still basically stretched out. And then we see for the most part, everybody the pack has for the most part now started to become a single file line. 32 laps definitely is not long enough for the leaders to catch up to the end of the field, unless somebody falls off extremely far, which didn't happen in the last race and hasn't happened in this race yet. So it looks like Srivastava is the back of the pack, but he is right there with everybody. We do see almost a 3 wide going on near the front. It looks like they back off a little bit. I think Cargill, Weber, and Barker. Yeah, it looks like he's going to be fine there. It looks like Barker is looking on the inside of the 16, I believe, of Hannah. Yes, of Jess Hannah. We'll see who Weber decides to help out, if anybody. It looks like he will hop to the inside of that faster inside lane and see if he can push Barker past Hannah in that 16 car. It looks like he will, so we take a look towards the front. As we see Bishop in that 12, who won a race earlier towards the end of the race or end of the season to make the playoffs, now battling it out for Emerson, who hasn't had the greatest season, but has had multiple races without missing, or multiple qualifying for the race. And really, if you make, as long as you're making most of the races, you're probably gonna do very well in the playoffs, even if you have a string of bad races like Weber. I think Weber in the 33 car, he has the last 2 races of the regular season were not good for him. As I was looking through the standings, Weber finished last place last race as well as the race previously. So for the last two races, he actually finished last place. One, he had an engine trouble and ended up pulling out very early in the race, and then same with the previous, and then he ran out of gas in last week's race, so he had to pull out of the race early again. So he is definitely shooting to try to make the second round as well as have a good finish for his teammates or for his team. As we take a look at the lead, still everybody stretched out. These top four cars really have like 1 or 2 car lengths between each other as they are running around. The laps are going down very quickly as we are on lap 21 of 32, so we've got about 11 laps remaining. Grubb right now is in commanding lead. Adams was leading for a little while, but Grubb was finally able to get past him. And like I said, for the Mayflower cars, as long as they can get some air in front of them, they're very, very fast cars. Oh, and there is somebody sideways. Looks like Jarvie put, I think that was, who was that? I think Martinez into the wall. Not sure if that's going to cause a caution or not. So far, no caution. I'm not sure if there's a reason why he put. We can go ahead and rewind a little bit and see why he was put into the wall. We take a look. Yeah, it looks like yeah, maybe Jarvie just didn't see him there. Thought he was clear, tried to turn. But yeah, and just put him in the wall pretty hard in the wall too, as you see parts flying off him. But definitely not enough to cause a caution. As we fast forward to live. So definitely not what Martinez wanted to see. Is there is somebody running into the pits? Oh, looks like it is Adams, maybe having some trouble. He was running second place for a while. We did see no pit stops in the previous race, so maybe there may be some issues going on with his car. Now it does look like it's just a normal pit stop as he's changing tires. So he could have had a tire start to go down. We'll see next couple of laps, see if anybody else jumps into the pits. But that's definitely not what Adams and Pitch Racing wanted to see. Especially if nobody else goes into the pits. Because right now that puts Adams very far back, at least a lap down at least. And of course, very few cars, or very few issues, so any... so he needs a little bit of luck to try to catch back up, maybe a crash, and then a good start. Yeah, a good start if there is a caution flag. And of course that puts even more space between Grubb and Ward. We see these top 3 cars are just pulling away from the rest of the field, and as well as pulling away from themselves. We take a look. It looks like Adams he's going to be in the last place. He's still going to make the race, but he's going to be starting 25th, right in the middle of the pack, which in this track could definitely be very dangerous. As you know, a wreck can happen almost at any second here, especially when cars get 4 wide, 3 wide, 4 wide. It is just crazy. So we do see Grubb still leading this race. He is on lap 28, now 29. As he is just pulling away from everybody. And right now, as long as he doesn't pit, I mean, this is his race to lose. As yeah, we can see just the amount of space between Grubb and everybody else. So it's definitely going to put Grubb in one of the best positions to win the race later on today. It's definitely Mayflower Racing always has strong cars, especially when they start towards the front. And right now, Ward is the only person that is anywhere near him, but of course he has no help either. We're on lap 30 of 32, and then we're going to hit lap 31. And I mean, it does look like Ward is slowly catching up to him, but it's definitely not going to be enough. It's about, what, 2 laps remaining. So it looks like it will be first and second will be Grubb and Ward, as long as nothing crazy happens. As Grubb is coming around, I believe, to take lap 32 and get the white flag. Yeah, as we see, I mean, Adams is slowly catching up some of the field, but he's a lap down, so he's going to be probably starting 25th. So he has a ton of work to do. As Grubb is coming around to take the pole in the race. Doesn't look, I don't think anybody's going to catch him, and there he goes. Grubb takes the pole. Ward right behind him, as well as Mass, J. King, Emerson, and Pitch. All top 6 positions. We take a look. So yeah, so Grubb, Ward, Mass, King, Emerson, Pitch, Bishop top 7, and then Adams finishing a lap down, just because he pitted in that in a green flag. So I'm not sure why he pitted. He could have had a tire going down, but yeah. So here's your top 25 of the race, and I will see all of you guys later on today, as we have our first playoff race tonight. So I will see you guys later.